Welcome to AMPLIFE, the #1 podcast for amputees, hosted by an amputee, and brought to you by Dilatory Orthotics and Prosthetics, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm the Brian Moe, the social media advisor for Dilatory, and I also happen to be a below-knee amputee. Let's get into today's episode. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to a special edition of AMPLIFE that I'm calling Ask the Amputee. One of the hot topics for amputees on social media right now is airline travel. I talk to people every day who have never flown as an amputee, and they really want to know what to expect. From questions about airport and airline accommodations to TSA screenings, people across the limb loss community want to know just what to expect when they fly. In this episode of AMPLIFE, I'm going to answer those questions, give you some practical tips, and hopefully dispel some myths regarding amputees and airline travel. The first thing I recommend you do is to enroll in TSA PreCheck. Whether you're someone with limb difference or not, I'm a firm believer that TSA PreCheck is well worth the time and money you will invest to obtain. It's going to save you valuable time at the airport, and most likely it's going to save you some frustration as well. Now, the process to obtain your TSA PreCheck is relatively easy. Simply visit www.tsa.gov/precheck and click on Apply Now. The online application process is going to take you about 5 minutes, and once you've completed it, you will then schedule an in-person appointment at a TSA location near you. Now, as you prepare for this in-person appointment, you're going to need your driver's license, and you're going to need an original birth certificate. An original birth certificate is one that has the raised state seal on it, so that when you feel it and you put your fingers on it, you can feel the raise of that seal against your fingers. The in-person appointment is going to take 10, maybe 15 minutes, during which time TSA will conduct a background check, and they're also going to obtain your fingerprints. The cost for the TSA PreCheck is $85, and one check will last you for 5 years. And again, I believe it's completely worth the time and the money that you're going to invest to do this. Once you have obtained your TSA PreCheck, you want to call your airline and you want to ask them to add your known traveler number, which we refer to as a KTN, to your ticket. When you get to the airport, if your KTN is missing from your ticket, you will be unable to use the TSA PreCheck lanes at the airport. One of the really cool things that I enjoy about TSA is that if you're like me and you use social media a lot, they'll gladly answer whatever questions you ask them on Facebook and Twitter. I began reaching out to TSA about 6 weeks before my first flight as an amputee, and they were extremely helpful in providing all of the information I needed to have a safe and enjoyable traveling experience. I also highly recommend that you call the TSA Cares hotline 72 hours before your scheduled flight. Ask them any questions that you have, share with them anything that concerns you. You can ask them what you need to do when you arrive at the airport and just anything that comes to mind. And you can reach TSA Cares by calling toll-free 855-787-2227. And I will have all of this information posted in our show notes on iTunes and on Google Play and on amplifepodcast.com. The next thing that I recommend is that you reach out to your airline. Now, since becoming an amputee, I have only flown with United, and my experience with United has been nothing but wonderful and positive. I reached out to United on Twitter well in advance of my first flight, and even when I had some more detailed and personal questions that I didn't want to post for all of the internet to see, United willingly engaged with me in a direct message discussion on Twitter. And I really feel that United went out of their way to assist and accommodate me, and it really took all of the stress and worry off of flying and enabled me just to sit back and enjoy my flights. When you arrive at the airport, and by the way, I recommend arriving at the airport really early. Give yourself plenty of time so that you don't have to rush, so that you don't get stressed. Give yourself plenty of time to get there and to check in for your flight. Once you check in for your flight, if you're not already using a wheelchair, inform the representative from your airline that you would like a wheelchair or even the SkyCap service to take you to your gate. Even if you feel you don't need this service, use it. And here's why. It's going to streamline your TSA process and make it so easy and very simple. Now, I know a lot of amputees who refuse to use this service, and that's their choice, and that's okay. But from my personal experience, I can tell you that using the wheelchair and SkyCap service not only gets you from point A to point B quickly and effortlessly, it's going to make going through TSA screenings a breeze. First, when you use the wheelchair service to go through TSA PreCheck, you already have someone with you to assist you with the screening process. They're able to answer any questions you have, tell you what to expect, and help you communicate with the TSA agents. Additionally, if you feel you want or need additional support, you can ask TSA for a passenger support specialist to help in the screening process. TSA is going to swab your wheelchair, your walker, or your cane if you have one. They will also swab your hands, your prosthesis, and your shoes. Now, it is paramount, and please hear me on this, it is so important. Do not wear any type of lotion on your skin on days that you will fly. Now, yes, there are a lot of lotions that will not produce a positive swab, but many of these lotions contain ingredients that will produce a positive swab, and this is going to cause you to endure a more thorough and private screening process that's not only time-consuming, but can be very frustrating as well. So just do yourself a favor, save the lotion for days that you're not flying, not going through TSA screenings. The other thing that you should never do is clean your prosthesis with alcohol. This isn't the best idea to begin with, but especially not when you're going to be flying and going through TSA checkpoints. That alcohol that you use to clean your prosthesis is going to produce a positive swab. And trust me, agents do not like positive swabs. More so, they don't like positive swabs when alcohol is involved. And so don't use alcohol to clean your prosthesis. If for any reason you need to clean your prosthesis leading up to your flight, simply use a soft washcloth and warm water. And this is going to help you avoid a lot of the headaches and additional TSA screening procedures. Now, once you've successfully made your way through the TSA screening process, the wheelchair or SkyCap service will take you onto your gate. As someone with a recognized disability, you and anyone that you're traveling with will be among the first to board the plane, regardless of where your seat is located. It's important to note that when booking your flight, if you feel that you're going to need more leg room, ask for an aisle seat or a bulkhead seat, which will allow you to have more leg room for your flight. For me personally, as an LBKA, I have no issue sitting comfortably in a window seat, which is my favorite place to be on any flight. Now, the wheelchair service can take you all the way down to the entrance of the aircraft, but from that point on, you're going to have to be able to physically board and deboard the plane on your own. Federal regulations prohibit airlines from physically assisting you with boarding and deboarding the plane, including assistance with using the restroom. Now, if you're traveling with durable medical equipment such as your own wheelchair or walker, these items cannot go onto the passenger area of the plane with you, and airline staff will place tags on these items and store them beneath the plane for the duration of the flight, and they'll have them ready for you as you deboard the plane upon landing. It's a really streamlined process. It's really simple. When I went to Las Vegas last year, I took my walker with me. And so when I got down to board the plane, they took my walker and they put it underneath the plane. And as soon as we landed and I got off the plane, they had my walker waiting for me. It was just a really beautiful thing. I mean, it's just the only way that I can put it. It was so very helpful to have and to use all of these services. Now, if upon boarding the plane you discover that your seat is located in an emergency exit row, and the flight attendants happen to ask you to move to a different seat, Please, for your sake and for the sake of everyone else on the flight, comply with their simple request. You might feel that you're perfectly capable of discharging the responsibilities of a passenger in the emergency exit row should an in-flight emergency arise. And you know what? You probably are. However, the flight crew is not only concerned with and responsible for your safety, they're concerned with and responsible for the safety of everyone on board the aircraft. They're not discriminating against you by asking you to switch seats. They're simply doing due diligence to set up the safest possible environment in the event of an emergency. So if they ask you to switch seats, even if you're not sitting in an emergency exit row and for some reason a flight attendant asks you if you would move your seat, just simply do it. It's a really simple request. It's the respectful thing to do. It's the right thing to do. If it's really something that causes you an issue or you feel like it wasn't right, maybe wait and take that up with the airline after you get back home. Please keep in mind to be respectful to all TSA, airport, and airline personnel, as well as to all of your fellow passengers. If you've traveled like I have, you know that airline travel can be hectic, and it can even be stressful at times. And the best thing you can do is choose to remain calm and respectful at all times. From my own experience, you're going to find that the more courteous and respectful you are to those who are there to help you, the more they are going to want to help you, and the more enjoyable your overall traveling experience is going to be. If you encounter any issues, or if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to a gate agent or flight attendant. There really are no bad questions. These folks are there to not only help you, but to keep you safe and to help you enjoy your experience. Ask them questions, follow their instructions, and most importantly, be kind to everyone you encounter. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. You've been listening to AMPLIFE, the #1 podcast for amputees, hosted by an amputee, and brought to you by De La Torre Orthotics and Prosthetics, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave us a review on iTunes or give us a like on Facebook. I'm the Brian Moe. I invite you to visit our website, www.amplifepodcast.com, or check us out on Facebook at AmpLife Podcast.